trip to Aruba began with a 4-hour flight to Orlando, followed by a short layover and then a 3-hour flight to Aruba. Between the flight times, layover, and time zone changes, the journey took about 13 hours of our day. But we were confident it would all be worth it. When we arrived in Aruba, it took us about 20 minutes to drive to our resort, Bucuti and Tara. We couldn't wait to check in, relax, and take a quick tour of the grounds after unloading our luggage. As we walked through the entrance, we immediately noticed how beautiful everything was. The landscaping was stunning and the atmosphere felt welcoming as we made our way to the front door. We already knew which room we were going to get, but you never really know what it would be like until you open the door and step inside. When we did, we were relieved. It looked even better in person, as if often the case. The room had some unique touches, like a TV built into the bathroom mirror, which was a fun and surprisingly useful feature, especially during those longer bathroom visits, if you know what I mean. Waiting for us was a thoughtful welcome package that included a glass box with 4 delicious macaroons. We devoured them right away. We were starving. The patio was a great size and offered stunning views of the beach, giving us a clear look over nearly the entire property. We took a short walk down to the resort's beach area. It was absolutely beautiful. Eagle Beach is known as one of the most stunning beaches in the world, and it was one of the main reasons we chose this particular resort. With its endless white sand and crystal clear blue waters, Eagle Beach is, without a doubt, the nicest beach we've ever visited. Just the beach alone easily makes you want to come back again and again. We even talked about someday getting a place here. The next day, we took a trip to the Donkey Sanctuary in Santa Cruz. The drive from the resort took about 20 minutes. Tucked away in a rural part of the island, the sanctuary is nestled among residential homes and mountains. It's a haven for injured and formerly abused wild donkeys, offering them a peaceful place to live out the rest of their lives among others of their kind. When we arrived, there weren't many people around, which we didn't mind at all. It gave us a better chance to interact with the donkeys up close and enjoy a more personal experience. The sanctuary is quite large, with donkeys roaming freely throughout the area. Stables are scattered across the property, and many of the donkeys were content to relax in the shade, staying out of the sun. At the main building, several donkeys gathered to be fed by visiting patrons. A railing surrounds the building to keep the donkeys out, allowing people to feed them without getting swarmed. We spent some time feeding them with bags of carrots we bought at the store before we arrived. donkeys lined up along the railing, jostling for position to be the first to get a treat. We made sure each one got their share as we walked along the railing. We had to be careful to ration the carrots so there was enough for everyone. It was easy to lose track of how many we had left, and we wanted to make sure each donkey got a treat before the bag was empty. As you can see, they were all very eager to get their share. For the most part, the donkeys were calm. Every now and then, one or two would get a bit feisty if they thought another donkey was getting too much attention. Their behavior actually reminded me of dogs. They nudge you gently or give you a look when they wanted something. And if you're wondering whether they smell, the answer is yes, a little, but nothing too overwhelming. The next stop we made that day was at the Casabari Rock Formations in Paradera. Many large, massive boulders were scattered throughout the site. There's a path that leads to the top of these giant rocks, offering a beautiful view of Aruba's landscape. On a clear day, you can see the entire island from the highest point, and possibly even Venezuela. At the end of the day, we had a bite to eat at a great restaurant called Taste My Aruba, located in Oranjestad, only about a 10-minute drive from our resort. The food and the atmosphere were excellent, so if you decide to go, be sure to make a reservation. It's one of Aruba's most popular restaurants, with very limited seating. The next day, we hit the road and headed down to the street murals in San Nicolas. Since its inception, the Aruba Art Fair has invited world-renowned local and international artists to create large-scale murals celebrating the island's culture, history, and creativity. Artists from around the world, as well as local talents, participate in the fair, which dates back to 2016 and continues today as a 3-day event featuring food, art, exhibits, classes, and new murals. The artists have left their marks on the walls and buildings along Main Street in San Nicolas. It took us about 30 minutes from our resort to get there, located on the southeast end of the island. We arrived in the middle of the afternoon when it was quite warm, which explained why there weren't many people out viewing the murals. This gave us a perfect opportunity to take some great photos without anyone getting in the way. At the end of the day, we went to the north end of the island to a restaurant called Fado Blanco. The atmosphere was great, and the food was even better. Be sure to make reservations in advance. It's a popular spot and books up quickly. The next day, we decided to drive back up north again, this time to visit Trapi Beach, located in Lourdes. The phrase Trapi means 3 steps in the local language, referring to the 3 steps carved into the coral years ago to access the water. Many people come here to enjoy the water and cool off on hot days. When we arrived, we had planned to swim, but it was a little too crowded for our taste, so we just explored the area a bit before heading back to the hotel to get ready for dinner at Ocean Z, which is close to Trapi, only a few minutes away on the west side of the island. When we got back to the hotel, we got ready, made our way to the Ocean Z restaurant, and enjoyed a great dinner at a beautiful restaurant with excellent food. Again, be sure to make reservations in advance. They book up fast. The next day, we registered online for a guided Jeep tour of various sites along Aruba's eastern coast. Our first stop was the natural pool. Before heading down into the pool area, our tour guide gave us some background on the site, along with safety tips for those planning to swim. We had no intention of getting in ourselves, just watching. Afterwards, we walked down the rocky trail to the natural pool, where we spent some time relaxing before heading back up to continue the tour. The pool area was busy and crowded, confirming our decision not to swim. We simply enjoyed the surroundings and took a few photos. After leaving the natural pool, we drove a few miles south to visit the Fontein Caves, a small cave near Boca Prince. We packed it to the Jeep and hit the dirt road again. Upon arrival, we were greeted by our cave tour guide, who shared all we needed to know about the caves.
Fontein Caves, Fontein, water. So later, and the fountain water. Who has a drink? Born. Okay, so that's why the name comes. Fontein is a big area in Aruba. We got the caves, we got the spring, we have Fontein, West Fontein is where people live way up from here. And also we have Fontein Mini Market, that's like a little mini market.
The Fontein Caves are well known for their native Aruba drawings etched on the stone walls and the flat roof of the cave in reddish-brown color. These drawings offer clues to the history of the Amerindians and the Arikok Indians, who once performed tribal rituals and ceremonies inside the caves. Seeping water has created colorful stalagmite and stalactite formations in unusual shapes and sizes. Inside the cave, long-tongued bats nestle in the holes in the walls, venturing out at night to feed on nectar and pollen. Just outside the cave is a freshwater stream area where numerous goats reside. Apparently, it was mating season, as all the male goats were relentlessly harassing one particular female goat. You can also take off your shoes and enjoy a fish pedicure on the small fish in the stream. After the caves, we headed to the Arikok National Park Visitor Center to make one last stop before the tour came to a conclusion. We got out, stretched our legs, used the restroom, and looked around for a bit. We made our way into the main visitor area to check out the exhibit they had. The exhibit displayed everything that had to do with wildlife, plants, and the environment. From sea life to stories about environmental issues around the island, crustaceans, various types of plant life throughout the island, you name it. It was all very fascinating, at least to me it was. I could have spent a lot more time reading the various informational exhibits, but we just did not have the time. It was only about a 30-minute pit stop before we got back on the road. I tried to read up the most I could on various exhibits, but I just didn't have the time. It was amazing to discover just how vast the wildlife is on this island, especially the birds. I would suggest anyone visiting Aruba to check out this visitor center. You will be quite surprised just how much you can learn about this beautiful island. Be sure to ask the staff questions too. They're very proud to share the information and knowledge that they have regarding the island and its multitude of wildlife and environmental treasures. It was a long day, and we were ready to head back to the resort for our sunset dinner. So we all climbed into the Jeep and made our way back. Along the way, we spotted a few more goats and caught a quick glimpse of the famous red anchor. When we got back, we cleaned up and had a beautiful sunset dinner on the beach. I would highly recommend this dinner for anyone staying at this resort. The next day, we planned to explore the southern end of the island again. Our first stop was Baby Beach, located in San Nicolas. It's one of Aruba's most popular beaches. When we arrived, it was busy but manageable since we came on a weekday. On the weekends, it tends to be much more crowded. Right next to Baby Beach are the stairs into the sea at Rogers Beach. The stairs allow access to the beach from First Avenue. They've evolved over time and are now a vibrant cultural landmark. In recent years, the staircase underwent a transformation through a community-driven art initiative. Each riser was adorned with colorful mosaic tiles depicting elements of Aruba's rich marine life and natural beauty, including sea turtles, coral reefs, jellyfish, and palm trees. Nearby, there was also a pet cemetery, which we found pretty interesting. After our little adventure down south, we headed back up north to prepare for our sunset sail along the coast of Trapi Beach. The sail included drinks, snacks, and of course breathtaking sunset views. It was relaxing to sit back, have a few drinks, and vibe out to some nice music. The weather was perfect. I couldn't have asked for better conditions. The boat held about 20 guests, including the crew. We took a few photos toward the end of the sail, and it was definitely an experience we'll always remember. If we ever return to Aruba, we'll be sure to do this again. After the sunset sail, we went to Fisherman's Hut for some fantastic seafood. It was our first time at the restaurant, and we weren't disappointed. We both tried barracuda for the first time, and it's definitely one of our favorite fish now. It was that good. After dinner, we headed back to the resort for our last night in Aruba. Without a doubt, Aruba turned out to be one of the best beach destinations we've ever visited. And we'll definitely be back someday.